David and Zane, their friendship is insane, and they like talking about things.
Probably couldn't hear it, but we were making eye contact the whole time.
And you probably couldn't hear it, but Zane was dancing and bobbing his head, and it was adorable.
I also said something like theme song right at the beginning, but there was like a record delay, so that didn't get in. So theme song. All right.
How's it going?
Good.
I was asking the viewers, Zane. God, you're so vain, Zane.
They're not here right now, but how has your week been since the last podcast, David? I think
Oh yeah, we didn't brush up on that. Yeah. So this podcast is going to be the last podcast, maybe, with a theme, because we've decided that we don't like themes. But this podcast does have a theme, and that theme is
follow up on challenges.
So my challenge was to pick someone I see semi-regularly and not look them in the eye, and I felt awful. So I picked Daniel Vorwerk. Great guy, super nice, and he's that guy in the Jackman who always is just like wearing flip-flops and shirts that have like cute things on them. He's got a beard. He probably hugged you today.
He has a beard.
And he has a beard, and he has got a beard. And so I couldn't look him in the eye every day, or at all. And I saw him a lot more than I thought I would. And the thing was, it's like, hey, David, how's your day? Give me a hug. And I was just an asshole all week to him. So Daniel Vorwerk is listening. I hope I said your last name right, and I'm sorry.
And you didn't tell me right away that you chose him for your challenge. And
no, I did not.
I remember like it was that Thursday where we released the podcast, where me and Danny and some other friends, we went to get like sushi or something, and then we came back to the Jackman, and me and Danny walked in, and you were like taking a nap on a bench, like right at the front of in the lobby of the building. And I said, hey, go talk to David or something. And he just comes up to you and wakes you up from your nap, and you can't look him in the eye.
And it was the worst. It's not nice. It's not a nice feeling, listeners, I guess. Listeners, it's not a nice feeling to wake up from a nap to a man like gently caressing you and not being able to look that man in the eyes.
All been there, right?
We've all been there.
And I think we can call our fans out there viewers.
No, that doesn't make any sense.
It does.
You're dumb.
I'll tell you why.
Okay.
We upload our podcast in video format to YouTube, and YouTube's are videos. So when you access our YouTubes
are videos.
Yes, YouTubes are videos.
Our message for today: YouTubes are videos.
It's gonna be on a T-shirt. We're gonna have some merch soon.
We should have merch, man.
Yeah.
And people should buy it and give us some money.
So yeah, I wanted to talk about the follow-up to the challenges at the end of the podcast, but I was actually asking you about your wallet. You want to talk about that?
Yeah. So I was challenged this week in a lot of ways, because I did something very David, and I lost my wallet. And it's the second time I've lost my wallet in the Jackman. And the first time I lost my wallet in the Jackman, I was so sure that it was going to turn up. Because I said, it's the Jackman. There's no way somebody would steal it from me. Like, they just wouldn't do that. And then they did, and I never saw it again. And I lost a lot of money and all my ID. And then I was dumb enough to lose it again. And I was like, oh no. So I just tore apart the Jackman. And at the end of the day, I was like so crushed with humanity. Because I'm like, somebody stole it again. And like, I know the time period that it went missing, and it was like only like my class and like a couple people that I knew that I saw in the Jackman. I was so betrayed. Yeah, no, I'm dumb. I'm really, really dumb. So, like, 3 days after I lost my wallet, we sat down in class, and Kyle, shout out to Kyle.
Kyle.
Kyle was just like, David, is this it? And I cheered and made a big scene and probably kissed him on the cheek because he's Kyle and I do that. And yeah, it was awesome. And I found it. And I'm up $10 now. So,
Does that mean
many pictures on me.
Does that mean you found $10 in your wallet that wasn't there before, or you thought it was gone? So
Shut up, Zane.
okay, sorry. I guess I should follow up on my challenge.
You should follow up on your challenge. What was your challenge?
My challenge was to to start my day listening to a different Taylor Swift song each day and dancing like no one's watching. Thankfully, no one was watching because I do what I do when I dance, and I felt ridiculous.
Because you took off all your clothes.
Well, yeah, it's Taylor
when
Swift.
you thought I wasn't home.
No, I just thought you were sleeping.
Okay.
I knew you were home.
Okay.
And so yeah. So oddly enough, well, my iTunes is always on shuffle for me, but oddly enough, pretty much 90% of the songs I listened to were from her new album, which it's not my favorite one of hers, but they're good songs. Dance worthy.
Dance worthy indeed. Dance worthy indeed. Taylor, if you're listening, because we know you are, Zane doesn't love you, and I love you a whole lot.
Don't listen to him. I look forward to our wedding day.
That was David, by the way. The wedding day comment, that was me.
Let's not fight right now.
I swear to God, Zane. Crumple, crumple, smash, smash, ring. What?
And
I'd like to talk about something if I could, Zane.
okay. Actually, I'm not finished talking about your wallet. Actually.
Okay.
So, aside from like identification and money, what else was in your wallet?
Well, Zane, there was an opening night ticket, and there was an opening night ticket, Zane. And then there was keys to our house, because I forgot about that.
So
There was that.
what was our solution to you being keyless?
We just tend to never lock the door. All the resident
much.
style.
Exactly. I'm pretty sure the only times our door was locked was when we remembered to lock it at night, and when I left the apartment before you. So I would lock it on my way out while you were still in there, and then you would leave it unlocked for the rest of the day. And
I kind of liked that. I'm not gonna lie.
I was so scared.
Our locks are more complicated than they're worth. So I just like not locking shit. But you know,
I was so scared.
I know. Don't worry, nothing happened to me. I was okay.
Yeah, you. Okay.
Yeah, me. My turn.
Yes, your turn.
My turn. You know what I would like to talk about?
Good.
Parties with themes. Because, like, costume themes. Because I find those so challenging. Because is it so much to ask to just want to go out and have a good time with no strings attached, rather than being forced to create a costume, think of a costume out of all your busy things, and then to go out and get intoxicated in that costume? Zane, what do you think about that? I'm not a fan.
This is a really interesting segue into what I did this weekend.
Okay.
Okay.
Can we animate into the YouTube clip a man riding a Segway back and forth every time we make a Segway?
I could put a picture.
Yeah.
I hope I cut that from the audio later because I don't really want to make an
Oh,
edit, but I'll do it. Okay, so my friend hosted a toga party, and I've never been to a toga party before.
So this is nothing about costume.
You said you were talking about themed parties, and togas as a theme.
Excuse us while we have a marital spat. Wah, 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 wah. Slut. Wah, 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 wah. I know what you did last summer. Wah, wah, wah.
So, do you want me to tell my story, or
Fine, go.
or do you have more costume stuff to talk about?
No. I want you to tell your story, Zane. I'm totally fine with you telling your story, and I'm not being passive aggressive at all. Whew.
So, my friend hosted a toga party, and we. So, I
Did you win, Zane?
I won.
You won.
If partying was a race, I certainly won
Won
because
that race.
I put myself out of commission in record time
Oh,
that night.
yeah. That's our Zane.
So I invited Devin over for like pre drinks. Except
drinks?
he pre drank. That's like 3 pre drinks. He pre drank at his place. Then he came over and pre drank with me. We just did a couple shots, and we walked over to my friend Alicia's house, and we pre drank there. I think we each made like a drink, downed it, and then walked over to my friend's house where the party was. Drank there, and it felt like at that point, I got to the point in the night where I kind of lost concept of time. I thought like I was there for like 2.5 hours. Reality, I was there for like an hour tops, and had lots of great conversation, had lots of great drink, and then my friend said, "Hey, let's take this party downtown. We'll go to the Loop." And I was like, "Yeah," forgetting that I hate downtown, and so I was like, "I don't have my ID on me," and so my friend and I, Danielle, shout out to Danielle again.
Shout out to Danielle. You're winning the competition so far, Danielle.
We
Hurry up, Allie. you got some catching up to do.
Last week's podcast was about Allie in the airplane with an asterisk.
It's like a Robert Munch title. Allie in the airplane, for real. And you know what? Let's play to our audience because we know they're listening. I mean, we hope.
So then,
shout out to the airplane.
Yeah, Air Canada or something. I don't remember what flight that thing she did.
Listeners, I just want you to know Zane's looking really good today.
Thanks.
Zane's looking really good.
You look good every day.
Thank you. And I didn't mean the slut comment.
Okay.
I take it back, Zane. I'm touching his face right now.
Mm-hmm.
Segway, man.
And so me and Danielle and a few of our other friends walked back to the first pre-drink house so she could drive me back home to get my ID. But it was a 5-seater and there was 6 of us. So I was like, I want to lay down. So I laid across the laps of the back seat. And on the way I was just like, I'm really tired. I'm going to close my eyes. And that's the moment when I knew that my night was over. So instead of getting out, going up to our apartment, getting my ID and coming down, and then going out for the night, I got out of the car, went up to my apartment, and threw up, and went to bed.
Ding, 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 we have a winner.
And yeah, I realized the next day or 2 days ago, whatever, that I'm a courteous kind of drunk, because I made a bit of a mess. Like, when you throw up,
it gets places.
Yeah, it gets places. And I made a bit of a mess about the toilet bowl rim, and I was like, I can't leave this for David. I stumble out of the bathroom into the linen closet, find some wipes, and then do a drunk thorough cleaning of like the outside of the toilet bowl and everything. And then I just washed my hands and passed out.
Attaboy.
All before 1 o'clock.
That's how we do it we gotta name our apartment, Zane. I mean, later. But
alright, taking suggestions from the audience.
from our listeners. Attaboy, Zane. Attaboy.
Right.
And
so that's what I think about themed parties.
That was, you know what, Zane? It's so courteous of you to come back so thoughtfully to my theme.
Is it a party? Is it a themed party?
Zane, do you want to tell our listeners what? So the theme for the opening night party for, or closing night party for Sweet Surrender, which, however, is hilariously funny.
We will get to
great great production. Go see it. Is dynamic duos, and it's actually a funny story. So I told Brianna Maloney.
Shout out to Brianna.
Shout out to Brianna. I figured this shouting out to people whenever we mention them is never going to get old.
Nope.
I'm like, she's like, what are you going as? And I said, oh, Zane and I are going as David and Zane. And then Brianna's like, no, that sucks.
I was
like,
going to go as David and Zane.
And then Zane, and they said, that's what we were going to do. And I'm like, are you going to go as David and Zane? Haha. And I thought it was really funny. It wasn't. She's like, no, Alice and I are going as each other. I'm going as Alice, and she's going as me. And I'm like, no. Zane and I are far lazier than I'm going as David, and she's going as Zane. And she's like, oh, cool. And that's what I have to say about that.
In my acting class, we, like, the past, like, few days, we've been doing, like, our entrances and exit scenes. So, like, every day, like, 7 groups go, and in between, like, set changes and stuff, all people talk about are ideas for the closing night party, and the most popular one is sperm and egg.
That's a good one. That is good.
I know, but, like, it's not really that dynamic unless the fetus becomes like one of us.
Yeah, that would be pretty good.
Yeah.
And then you'd have to, like, never mind, that was not gonna be.
We'd have to have the sperm or the egg would have to have this mohawk of mine, and the other sperm or egg would have to have this dreamy voice and a guitar and sing.
I wondered
sing
what you were gonna say
every week.
I wondered what you were gonna say. Or just be really pale. I mean, one or the other, because what's dreamier than pale things like Twilight? I hear that's pretty dreamy. Oh, okay.
I don't know.
I'm trying to grab onto something here, Zane.
I don't know what you see in vampires, 12-year-old girls. I don't. We just mentioned Sweet Surrender, right?
Let's not get in the habit of mentioning 12-year-old girls on our podcast.
This is a segment where we don't talk about 12-year-old girls.
Yeah, I love that segment.
Speaking
it's
of
my favorite segment.
Speaking of 12-year-old girls.
No!
So, Sweet Surrender.
It's not about 12-year-old girls.
No, there are no 12-year-old girls at all. And that's what makes it so great.
Fucking 12-year-old girls, they're the worst.
Please don't say fucking 12-year-old girls, they're the worst.
What?
You just said fucking 12-year-old girls. They're the worst.
Damn it, Zane. How dare you take me out of context, you scum bucket. Excuse us while we have a marital dispute. Wah, 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 wah. 12-year-old girls. Wah, 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 wah.
So yeah, I went to see Sweet Surrender this evening.
Yep.
It was pretty fantastic, I have to say.
It was great, eh?
Yeah. Any comment on it, David?
It was very good.
You as an actor may see it differently than me as like just an normal audience member.
See, no, not really. Pretty much, like, there's a huge, like, pretty much, like, probably, I don't know what the percentage is, so I'm not even going to try, but on the opening, on the preview, were, like, shit tons of actors, and so that's a lot of the audience, so I didn't really see it differently. Plus, you're taking an acting class, and in that class, you act,
I guess.
You're an actor. And ladies and gentlemen, never mind. Go on, Zane.
I loved it, and the only thing like that kind of threw me, which is no way against the actors or anything, but like the characters in the play that had like a great status or whatever never looked at each other. That kind of threw me. Like the bellhops,
What?
like they all their lines were like right out to the audience, and I know like rule number one in theater is like face forward, let the audience see you and stuff. But like the characters didn't like speak directly to each other.
We're getting into directorial.
It's okay.
Directorial choices
it's
here.
okay.
If Bill Pennell hears this, man, he's gonna go crazy.
Bill, if you're listening, shout out to Bill.
Shout out to Bill. Okay, you know what? If we're going for it, let's go for it. Shout out to Bill. And we think that. Let's change that. I think that actors should deliver lines to other actors on stage.
Okay.
And you know what? Shout out to Bill. Shout out to Bill.
Yeah, if like Bill, if you're listening, I'm wrong. That's like
No,
I'll leave
you
it
know what, Bill? If you're listening, Zane is right. I'm gonna stand by that.
But
he's retiring next year anyway. I don't care.
Well, it's I'm guessing it was a directorial choice for those specific characters, because like the bellhops and the assistants for the spoiler alert, the divas, I don't know.
The murderer.
Okay, the assistants.
I was really drunk when I saw it, so
they would they had like they had eye contact.
They had eye contact, yeah.
Right to each other, and I love the bellhops.
The bellhops are really fun.
Yeah.
Shout out to the bellhops.
Yeah,
good job, Ryan Terry and Tristan Claxon. Claxon, what a fucking badass name, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Also, hilarious director story. Going directly off of...
Directly off of...
Once I heard a story about an actor complaining about a director profusely, and I said, why? What's wrong with this director? And the actor said, I was looking at my scene partner, and the director said, why are you looking at your scene partner? They know your lines. The audience doesn't, so look at them.
Well, that's a sound reasoning. I don't particularly agree with it, but if you have a reason to do it, then yeah, go ahead.
No!
It doesn't make sense to me, but it makes sense.
Excuse us while we bitch out this director. Wah, 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 wah.
12-year-old girl.
No! Segue! I think this is our best. This is our best segment yet. Oh, and by this, I mean the 12-year-old. Never.
Okay.
Moving on to segues.
Yeah.
And then it's my turn.
Yeah. You got a story.
So going back to our theme that we'll never come back to again, probably. Challenges. So things following up challenges. So I had a challenge with a friend in first year. I don't want to use their name. Let's call him Julius Caesar. And the challenge we had between Julius Caesar and I was which one of us could take a first date to McDonald's first. Julius Caesar won, and he took a first date to McDonald's. And Julius Caesar came up to me right after this date and was like, David, I totally beat you, man. I took a first date to McDonald's. And I said, congratulations, you took a first date to McDonald's. Yay! And I thought it was quite foolish, so he won the challenge, but I've never been more happy to not win a challenge because I didn't take a first date to McDonald's. So shout out to Julius Caesar.
So Caesar won, you lost, and his date lost.
Everybody lost. Except I settled the score later, so that was good. Shout out to Julius Caesar.
Yes. Well, anything else
about Julius Caesar?
I was gonna just in general that our viewers want to hear.
Wah, 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 wah. It was really Julius
Caesar.
Wah, 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 wah.
Okay.
I
think I'm really satisfied with our podcast this week.
I think it got rolling after the first
First,
5 minutes.
yeah.
We're going up. I'm hungry. I want shawarma to be open. Do you think it is?
I don't know.
But it do you want to Zane?
Yeah.
Right here on the air. Zane, do you want to go get $2.75 bottle of Pabst from Buddy's?
I have a pizza on the stove.
After the pizza's down on the stove.
I have class. No, I don't have class. I have someone that I'm not going to meet tomorrow.
So, yes. Because if no, you know what's going to happen. If you missed our last week's...
David.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
Okay. Zane, fuck that shit. The rules of fuck that shit clearly state, if you say no, and I say fuck that shit, you have to do whatever you said no to. Oh no, he's got a plan.
Agreed.
Yay! We all win! Shout out to Julius Caesar.
All right. I think we've dragged on the end of this podcast.
There's paths to be had, man.
All right.
And I'm hungry.
Me too. So,
Oh, Buddy's has great nachos. Do you want to split nachos?
no.
Fuck that shit.
Okay.
Yay! I am Zane.
I'm David.
And we're gonna go have beers and have nachos and have a great time sharing each other's companies.
Wonderful. And we'll reflect on this wonderful podcast, as I'm sure you will after you finish listening.
I got a beef to pick with you, Zane, just before we go. It's very quick. You always get to be the one to say love you. And the fact is, I love them too.
You want to take it this time?
Wah, 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 wah.
Podcast out.
Love you.